Hi there, my name is Scott Marker, and I'm a franchise owner of Treasure Valley NIA. The franchise is based out of Houston, Texas, Network in Action. What I do here in the Valley, and is part of the model of the franchise, is I try to connect high caliber local business professionals to help each other out. It's that simple. So today, what I'm trying to do is bring somebody that can help people out, business owners out here in the Valley. Times are more challenging than ever. That in a short amount of time, I call them the quick tips, that you'll actually be able to take the tips off of the video and implement them in your company. So today I have Brent. He's of Prophet Creek, and he's actually one of my members too. And it's kind of funny how I met him, because I had never heard about EOS or Traction, the book Traction, Get a Grip, the book. And so anyway, so that I meet Brent, he tells me what he does, and I'm like, oh, that's neat. I didn't know what to think of it. And then I find out, I'm talking a week later, that two people I highly respect here in the Treasure Valley. One of them, it took her company international. I asked them both separate meetings, like, so what do you think the biggest thing, one simple thing that you did for your company took it to the next level? And they both said, no question asked, the book Traction. We implemented the book Traction. And one of them actually hired Brent now to help them continue that. So anyway, so now I'm excited, because like I said, a lot of people say they can, improve companies, but it's been done again and again. And I have two local recent examples. So with no further, let's talk to Brent. Introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself and where you're from.
Well, thanks, Scott. Thanks for putting these on. This is great. So basically, in a nutshell, I just help entrepreneurs get what they want from their business. I work with leadership teams and business owners to really get what they dreamt out of their business, because a lot of times they're not, especially today. And it seems like that would be impossible today, and it's actually not. The reality is that there's a lot of things you can be doing today that can really help you get control of your business and get what you want out of your business. And EOS is the system I implement, and it's just a complete system with very proven, simple tools that allow us to do three things that we call vision, traction, and healthy. So vision from the standpoint of getting the leadership team first 100% on the same page with where they're going and how they're going to get there. Because oftentimes there's everybody has their own version of what we're trying to accomplish. And so it causes discord and things. Traction is that accountability and discipline to actually execute on all aspects of the vision and make that vision a reality. And then healthy is simply that. It's just helping the leadership team be a very cohesive, functional team that works really well together. Because a lot of times leaders at that level don't play well together. And so how do we help them get better at that? From there, as the leadership team goes, so goes the rest of the organization. So we get it to the point where everybody in the organization is really on board with the vision, and they're working toward making that a reality. They want to see that come together. And that makes a huge difference in how well everything runs. They gain really consistent traction toward accomplishing that vision. And the business just runs a lot better. It's just a lot more fun. It's a lot healthier and really a lot more profitable. And it's amazing what people can actually accomplish when all those things come together.
Huh. Hey, could you do us a favor? Like I said, the goal here is give a couple quick tips. Now with everybody's virtual with all these meetings now, it's more challenging than ever to run a successful meeting. So give us a couple quick tips that the EOS and you kind of help companies improve their meetings.
Yeah. So when I talk to people normally pre-coronavirus and ask them to rate their internal meetings, they would say they're probably between a 4 and a 6 on a scale of 1 to 10. And what we're doing with NEOS is we're getting people to get those meetings to be a 10, an 8 to 10. So huge difference in the quality of the meeting and how effective those are. We've all been in meetings that just suck, right? They just go on, and could have been an email, and yet we have a meeting. And now that everybody's staying at home and physically distancing and all that, those meeting ratings have probably gotten a lot worse instead of better. And so one of the things I hear a lot of is, how do we stay connected, and how do we make sure that the employees are being accountable and actually executing on the things they need to be doing, as opposed to binge watching Netflix and we're still paying them to work from home, so to speak.
Okay.
So one of the tools I'd recommend is what we call the level 10 meeting agenda. And there's a couple of things that make for a really great meeting. First of all, your internal meeting, like with your leadership team meeting, but even at departments, they need to be consistent. So they need to be on the same day, same time. They need to start on time and they need to end on time. And you need to use the same agenda every week. And that may seem a little rigid, but if you actually go through the process that we teach, it's actually amazing how effective those meetings can really be. And so a couple of things in that meeting agenda is that you really want to make sure that you are disciplined in the meeting. You want to make sure that you're reporting only on like your scorecard and your quarterly priorities. We call those rocks. But how are we doing? Are we on track or off track? A lot of times we'll report a number, if we even do that, but if we report a number, we'll start talking about that number and we'll kind of get into the weeds and get onto like 2 or 3 different tangents. Before we know it, we're talking about something completely unrelated and really irrelevant to the topic. So stay focused, stay out of the weeds, report only, and then get down to the point where you can actually spend the bulk of your time in the meeting actually solving issues. You want people to be able to have an issues list where they can bring their issues up all throughout the company, and then you can solve them as a team. And you really want to get to the root cause of the issue. We have an issue solving track called IDS, just stands for identify, discuss, and solve. And so you really want to get really good at identifying what the real issue is that you need to solve, and then discuss it and then move to solve. It works really well, and it keeps everybody engaged. It's really helps keep those circles together, because as everybody's kind of floating out there, you want to be able to keep them together. You don't want everybody overlapping and duplicating efforts, but you want to make sure that they're connected enough that they can communicate well and move the business forward. So what I'm finding is I've got teams that are running remote, and they're actually just as effective and as productive as they've been when they were in person. This doesn't have to be a huge negative in terms of productivity.
Okay. Real quick. So the important thing is have your meetings. If you're going to have a all office meeting or a leadership meeting, have it at the same time, the same place, and never change it.
Yeah, because if you do change that day and time, it seems like that would be the logical thing to do to accommodate people's schedule. What ends up happening is you really diminish the effectiveness of that meeting, and you just basically tell people that this meeting isn't really all that important. It's kind of a nice to have, but we don't need to do it. When you fix that time and place on the calendar, and people have to work their schedules around that meeting, it really elevates the quality and the importance of that meeting.
That's a great point. And also it respects the people that attended the meeting, because it shows them that you're not going to move it around to disrupt their schedule.
Exactly. Exactly.
And then you mentioned about the same agenda each meeting, because I like what do you, could you clarify that? We'll explain more on that.
Yeah. So I have an agenda on my webpage. I have a link you can go to. It's profitcreek.com/level 10, like a rating of a level 10. And so the agenda's on there. There's also a video that talks you through how to run the meeting. You can watch that a bunch of times to kind of get better at it. But essentially you want to connect as a team, go through a segue at the beginning just to kind of connect and recognize that we're still people and we're all working together and trying to do this thing, and share some good news, both personally and business wise. And then, like I said, move into reporting. So how we do on our scorecard, how do we do on our quarterly priorities or our rocks, customer and employee headlines, because it's important to bring those up and just share those, just sound bites. We don't want to dig into something if we need to dig into something. If there's a number that's off on the scorecard or an employee headline or a customer headline that we need to talk about, we just drop that down to the issues list. Then we review our to-do list. It's a 7-day action item. Are we getting those to-dos done or not done? And then we move into the issue solving portion where we prioritize our issues and then solve those issues as a team. And then about 5 minutes to the end, we want to conclude. So we want to make sure we recap the to-do list so everybody's clear on what they're supposed to be doing.
That's important.
Yeah. And we also make sure any cascading messages. So if we made a decision, we should probably let people know, especially if we're not all in the office where we can just talk as freely as we used to. And then we want to rate the meeting. And this is why we call it a level 10, is because you'll rate this meeting yourself as your team. It's not something that we just dreamt up. You'll be self-evaluating yourselves. And if you're not 8, 9, or 10, then you need to self-correct and figure out, why is this a 4 or a 6? Let's bring it up. And so it's amazing, because it's a really simple tool that you can actually.
That's a fantastic idea, because like I said, I've never thought about that before. But if you had your, everybody in the room rating the meeting, right, and then having leadership teams that could, which is what you teach, I'm sure, is that could take the feedback, not criticism, the feedback. That's the
Yeah.
key. So man, that is great, because I've been to a lot of meetings, some great ones, but a lot of more of the 5-ish.
Yeah. Yeah.
and,
Exactly.
and 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 I wish I could have, would have liked to say something. Or if I led up a meeting, the same thing is I have people that I'm leading up the meeting.
Exactly.
They say, hey, their last one was a 10 and this was a 5, and I have to self-reflect and say, why was it a 5?
And I have clients that are very anal retentive, and they want all the numbers and they need all the facts, and that's great. That's who they are. I have other people who are like squirrels on crack, and they just can't sit still for a meeting, right? And so they both love this meeting agenda because it moves quickly enough to keep the attention of those that maybe have attention deficit disorders or whatever, but it gives enough detail for the people that are really high fact finders that really need those details, and yet it keeps moving. And so it's a fantastic meeting. People love it, and it's super effective. It's just one of the 20 some odd tools that we have in the whole system. So it's not intended to do everything that EOS does. It's just you're taking one little small piece out of this whole
Successful meetings.
Yeah, and there's even a bunch of parts that go into that meeting that we're not talking about here. But just taking this tool, you'll get a good bump. It'll really help.
Well, that's great. Well, thanks. Hey, real quick, because that's a couple good bites I think people can implement right away. And then also, if they want to learn more about it, do you have like you mentioned the website? Could you please mention the website again? And then also your contact if they want to talk to you and learn more about it.
Yeah, so profitcreek.com, and so PROFIT creek.com. My phone number is 208-779-0058. So people can call me there, or they can email me at just simply brent@profitcreek.com.
Perfect. And we'll put those in the show notes too, so people can, if they didn't get it, they can take a look down there.
Perfect.
Anyway, well, thank you very much, Brent. This has been great. And like I said, the goal is out, and you did a great job, is to give some, local business owners a couple tidbits that they can run their, companies better. And these times is more important than ever, I think, because a lot of
yeah. I hope it helps. I definitely want it to help.
Oh, I know it will. Because like I said, I think back at all my meetings. I wish I would have known you then. So, perfect.
Exactly.
Well, hey, thanks everybody for watching, and thank you, Brent.
Thanks, Scott.